you, Travis, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Regional News. We start off with some news from the Caribbean community where the foreign ministers have rejected the arbitrary and the unilateral imposition of blacklisting by the European Union on several CARICOM countries. Last week, the EU said under the Anti-Money Laundering Directive, it has revised its list, taking into account developments at the international level since 2018, and that the new list is now better aligned with the lists published by the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force. The countries which have been listed are the Bahamas, Barbados, Jamaica, along with Botswana, Cambodia, Ghana, Mongolia, Panama, and Zimbabwe. But Guyana is among 6 other third world countries that have been delisted. In a statement issued Monday following last week's 23rd meeting of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations, the foreign minister said they have rejected the arbitrary and unilateral imposition of blacklisting by the EU on several member states of the community. And I quote, "They expressed concern over the constant shifting of goalposts, the continued lack of prior consultation or notification, and the unwillingness to take into account the efforts at compliance made by CARICOM member states." End of quote. The statement further said that measures was viewed as detrimental to the economies of the affected states, which are already in recession. The community called on the EU to take into consideration the disproportionate impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economic well-being of the small states of CARICOM in their policy making, the statement added. In the case of Guyana and Venezuela, the foreign ministers noted that Guyana was to have presented its case in oral pleading scheduled for the week of the 23rd of March 2020 as to why the ICJ was properly tested with jurisdiction by the United Nations Secretary General under the Geneva Agreement 1966 for a final resolution to the controversy. Now in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidadian government relief programs to offset the negative impact of COVID-19 is expected to cost $6 billion. This was the projected figure given by Finance Minister Colm Imbert as he gave a breakdown of government spending to date and projected expenditure to the end of September. Imbert said $700 million in outstanding VAT refunds have been paid in cash, with another $3 billion to be paid in VAT bonds, which is expected to start this week. He also stated that Caribbean Airlines will receive support from the government. He said in his capacity as corporate sole, he has signed agreements with the umbrella body of credit unions to make available $100 million for the membership of some 20 credit unions, and that may be increased in due course with another provision geared towards small business lending within the credit union movement. And finally, in Jamaica, student pilot Mark Daniel Scott's death has been described as a major loss for a young aspiring Jamaican aviator. The 25-year-old Walmer's Boys Adams died in a plane crash in South Florida Tuesday morning after the Piper PA-34 aircraft he was flying developed mechanical problems, crashing near the south side of Pembroke Road in Florida. His instructor, who was with him, is still hospitalized with injuries. The aircraft was operated by the Wayman's Aviation Flight School. And I quote, "He started his career with us at Caribbean Aviation, and he was like my son. In fact, anyone would want to have him as a son," end of quote. A Captain Earl Stewart, operator of the Jamaican Flight School, is reported to have said. Stewart said that Scott was focused, disciplined, and on the path to a promising future. But life has a way of throwing you a curveball, he lamented. And that's it for Region News this evening. And I continue to urge our viewers to wash those hands, wear those masks, and continue to practice social distancing. Back to you, Travis.